Round 28 of the Premier League is just around the corner. It seemed just like yesterday when Victor said he does not look at the table until after 10 games. And now we have just about 10 games left until 10 or 11 games until the Premier League ends. So it has been an interesting ride, but still, we've got some exciting clashes this weekend. And we're giving our best predictions, of course, as we usually do. Victor, without wasting much time, what are your best straight win selections?
I'll start this by saying that the odds for outrights are a little bit funky for this weekend. There are some clear favorites on paper when you look at the list of games that are priced much higher than what we would expect to see at this stage of the season. Having said that, I'm going with Villa to beat Wolves away at 195, and I think this is a very good example of that funkiness. Despite the odds being quite long, I, for one, can't really see any other result here. Villa have won 7 of their last 10 games on the road. They've only lost one, drawn the other 2, and against some much tougher opponents than Wolves. We're recording this before Villa's game against Fener tonight, and perhaps that's why it's priced at almost 2, so I would suggest grab it while it's still so long. Another one is Brentford away to Burnley at 182. See, again, Brentford have 6 wins and 1 defeat in their last 7 away games, and they're at over 180 against Burnley. Either we're about to see a ton of shocks this weekend, or it's a case of the bookies being a bit overconfident. Still, it's worth a punt if you ask me. And the third pick is City to beat Leeds away at 165. This one, at least I can properly understand being that much over 150 because I was expecting to see it around 150. But it's at 165, and it's because City's away form has been patchy. 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses in their last 5. But looking at overall form, it has to be a City win. They're unbeaten in the last 8, winning 7 of them.
Yeah, I mean, just to buttress on your point, I was shaking my head because we have the same exact 3 selections for the straight wins this weekend. I would just add to say that for the Villa game, I think the reason behind this, the odds, is because they are thinking that there will be some fatigue, when
Yeah.
Villa play when Villa play in the Europa League and then to play again. And we've seen a different Wolves in the past 2 or 3 game weeks. So maybe the bookmakers are expecting at least a difficult game, even if Villa are going to win. So I guess that is the idea behind it. Also, Burnley put up a good fight against Chelsea last time out. So there's some renewed fights, from the teams at the bottom. Like, even if we are going to go down, let's cause some trouble, all across. So I think the bookmakers are banking on that. But yeah, the fact that we had the same exact picks, let's hope they all land. And moving on, your best goal market selections, Victor.
I've got 2 BTTSs and 1 over here. And one of the BTTSs is Bournemouth v Sunderland at 170. Bournemouth at home are scoring and conceding like nobody's business. All of the last 5 at the Vitality ended with BTTS. And sure, Sunderland have hit a little bit of a funk, but I think there is value to try this line here. The over I have is for Arsenal v Chelsea. I'm looking at 2.5 plus at 179. I think both teams are strong enough going forward, and 3 goals should not be a problem. I'm not counting on Gyökeres because Chelsea are not a newly promoted side or a relegation candidate like Spurs, but there's still plenty of firepower in both teams for an over 2.5. And the other BTTS is Newcastle v Everton at 168. This one to me is a no-brainer. Um, in their last 10 in all competitions, Newcastle have scored and conceded in 9 of them. Everton, even though they're not involved in many high-scoring games, they also stand on 7 out of 10 for this. I know that Newcastle are at home, but even when Karabakh manage 2 goals there, I think we can reasonably expect Everton to score 1.
Yeah, fair point. And for me, I'm going with Wolves and Aston Villa once again. I don't know why the bookmakers are giving them almost 2 odds for over 2.5 goals, but it seems reasonable to me. I feel like it's going to happen because I think Wolves will probably score, and that makes sense to me. I'm also going with Leeds City once again, Leeds versus City, because I think both sides can actually get on the score sheet. Probably City will outscore them, but Leeds have enough in them to trouble them, and that's 1.70 for over 2.5. Then the next one is Liverpool v West Ham. The odds are not so generous for 1.45. But I think Liverpool v West Ham, Liverpool at home, Liverpool seeing that there's an opportunity since Chelsea are making it so easy for them. I think they would put out their best foot,
Yeah.
for that game. Anyways, moving forward with the best player to score selection.
Igor Thiago at 210. I mean, surely, right? His form has been poor this month, but Burnley have the worst defense in the league. It's not Wolves, it's Burnley. And Burnley have also given away plenty of penalties this season, and Igor Thiago is the penalty taker for Brentford. I'm also going with Mbumo at 250 against Palace. He has been purring lately, and I seriously doubt Palace have what it takes to handle him this weekend. Palace have only kept 5 clean sheets in their last 20 games in all competitions, and I think Mbumo is the most likely one for United. And I'm also backing Ekitike against West Ham at 2 odds. I'm going with him again mainly due to a lack of rotation options for Slot. He has been good. He has not been great lately, but good and involved enough in Liverpool's attacking play. He likes a shot from just about anywhere, which always increases a player's chances of scoring.
Yeah, fair point. And for my player to score selections, I will go against what you said, Victor. You said Chelsea are not a newly promoted team, but I'm still backing Gyökeres anyways. By the way, he has scored against Chelsea this season in the FA Cup, and I think at the Emirates, after Arsenal got 1 week rest, I think Arsenal should be able to beat Chelsea, and Gyökeres should find the back of the net. I'm also backing Ekitike against West Ham as well. He has not been as sharp as recent weeks. I mean, in front of goal. This is the game where I think he can get back on the score sheet. Then once again, I'm backing Alan to score against Leeds, and Leeds have this self-destructing football where they will keep on coming at you regardless of whether they know you are much better than them. So I think they'll do that again, and Alan to be able to capitalize on that one. And I'm also going for a United player surprise, but it's not in Bremo, it's Shesko. I think this is the one game that Carrick might be tempted to just give him a start based on his returns in recent games. And even if he doesn't get a start, Palace are just so bad anyway, so he can still get a goal against them from the bench. So those are my player to score selections. And on the final note, Victor, any bold opportunity to take advantage of?
I'm looking at the corner angle for Arsenal v Chelsea, but it's not what you think. I'm going under 7.5 corners. Yeah, at 360. Look, for all the talk of set piece FC, which is somewhat warranted, only one of Arsenal's last 5 games brought more than 7 total corners. We see a lot of corners in Arsenal games when they're playing in the Champions League, for example, or when they're playing in the FA Cup, for instance. By now, in the Prem, teams know to try their best to avoid having to defend the corner against them, while Arsenal themselves don't concede many corners. So, yeah, under 7.5 corners for this one at 360. Is it worth a punt? I think our viewers should decide for themselves. I believe it is.
That's an interesting one. In my head, I was thinking Arsenal alone can do over 7.5 corners in that game. But yeah, anyways, we'll see. My bold pick here is that Crystal Palace, as terrible as they are, will not lose to Manchester United at Old Trafford. I'm not saying they would win, but I don't think they would lose to Manchester United at Old Trafford. That's just my bold pick here. And when you look at the odds, I mean, it's definitely worth it. 5.79 for Palace to win, and somewhere around 2 odds for a double chance. So it's definitely worth it. Yeah. Anyways, those are our best predictions and selections for round 28. And just like Victor mentioned, there is something funny about the odds for this particular game week. So please make sure you do your due diligence before you take our picks to heart. And we'll come your way after this game week to see how we performed.